Hey ladies, good morning. I'm going to give everybody a minute to get on and also tag this live in our event. So give me just a minute and I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm very excited to do these Q&As with you ladies. Let me see where it's popping up. And we will rock and roll. Can you still hear me like this? La, 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 la. I think you can still hear me. Okay, there it is. Perfect. Great, you guys. I'm actually going to pin this to featured. So it's right in the top of our group, Macro Tracking and Weightlifting for Women. If you're watching it anywhere else, make sure to join us there. Okay, so many questions came in on the chat, which is very cool. So go ahead and share questions here. If anyone is interested in coming on live and doing, sharing their questions and talking on here, let me know after this video because I can definitely make that happen for the future. Like I shared, I'll be doing this every week, every single week, okay? And if anyone can let me know, can someone let me know if they can hear me okay? I just want to make sure because I have everything muted. Great. So I'll wait for those comments. Good. Hello, lovelies. Awesome. Great. Okay. So please send your questions. We'll answer those. If I don't see any, I'm going to start pulling from the message thread. Okay. All right. So Lori, she said, I turned 60 in February and my body has changed a lot through menopause. I need to relearn nutrition and exercise. So ladies, some of these answers are going to be a little bit basic. Okay, depending on where the woman's at, depending what she needs. So maybe like do this, do this. Deeper questions that come from that, let me know. Send it in the chat, send it in the comments, send it in a DM, and I will answer whatever you need. I'm here to support you. Really quick, actually, why do we do this? Why do we do this? Ladies, at Queens of Iron, currently it's me and Megan. These are the two trainers in Queens of Iron. We are here to support you and impact you towards a life of health and wellness. So you can feel confident, you can love who you are, you can love your body, you can avoid disease, you can avoid sickness, you can feel good in your skin, and release the mental weight of, I hate what my body looks like, I feel uncomfortable, I don't like what my clothes feel like, I'm so tired, this. So we are here to help you change your life for the better. So that's why we're doing this. And I want to answer all your questions so you can live a healthier, happier life. Okay, great. So Miss Lori, I've turned 60 in February. My body has changed a lot since menopause. I need to relearn fitness and nutrition. This is very common because what used to work for you probably doesn't now. And so now it's like, what do I do now? My body is so different. Weightlift and track your macros. Very general advice, but truly weightlift and track your macros. Get into the gym. If you have no clue what you're doing, you should hire a trainer, honestly. But if for whatever reason you can't financially, start with the machines. Just start with the machines and progress from there, okay? Get involved in communities like this one. You guys post videos of you working out and ask for form feedback. I do that all the time for our clients. So does Megan. That's what we do. We're happy to help you here as well too, okay? Asking what's the best exercise for fat loss is really silly, right? Exercise is to build, shape, strengthen, develop our body. Nutrition is where the fat comes off. Does exercise burn calories? Of course. But if you're just using exercise to lose weight, you're most likely going to gain it back in the future because you're not really developing the long-term nutritional habits that you need to keep it off and not have this be a problem anymore. So, Lori and whoever else needs, if you don't have the macro calculator, go to the top of our group and the second post pinned, I think, let me double check, is, the third pinned post is the calculator. It will give you a baseline. Calculators are designed for the masses, not one specific person. So needing adjustments is totally normal. That's okay. The way to know if your macros are right for you is not to get a macro check. What is that actually doing? It's just making sure that your macros aren't way crazy. But in order to really understand if the macros you're on are right for you, is to track them consistently over time. To get into compliance, which for our clients is negative or positive, 0 to 5 grams. So all 3 macros end the day at a 5 or a less, over or under. Does that make sense? Yes, I saw someone just, yeah, Crystal, can I send you info on personal coaching? You betcha. We will, totally. So get into compliance, track it consistently over time, and that's how you're going to exactly know how's my body responding to these macros, and then you'll know if you need an adjustment. Okay, keep bringing the questions in, ladies. I'm going to keep going through the chat for right now. Okay, let's see. Miss Emily. Hey, breastfeeding mama, 13 weeks postpartum and having a hard time staying disciplined on the weekends. I don't have a problem on the weekends when it's just me and my kids and my husband's at work. I have a hard time being disciplined and he's home and he doesn't track. Boy, oh boy, is this real? Oh my gosh, this is so real. Yeah, okay. My question to you would be, and yeah, Miss Emily, my question to you, let me check your last name. Oh, okay. Is, and you're on here, girlfriend, so you can tell me. What is the issue? Is it him? Is it you guys just like the type of food that you guys are eating? Or is it that he wants you to eat bigger portions with him? Or what is the situation? While I wait for you to reply, I'm going to go ahead and just share some tips, some tricks, and then give me a bit more insight on the problem, and I'll dive in a bit deeper. The biggest thing is going to be portion sizes, right? You can eat everything that he eats, but it's going to be portion sizes. You may have to supplement it with more vegetables. You may have to supplement it with more protein. But still enjoy the foods together. Don't be lazy and not track, right? Because it's easier. Because he's like, oh, what are you doing? You've done this a ton of times and you just haven't stuck with it. It's like, hopefully you have an encouraging, supportive environment. And if you don't, it's okay. Don't let it get you down. Keep going. Keep making effort. Keep pushing forward. Keep tracking. Because I've always said this. It's so true. Someone's going to break. Don't let it be you. Someone is going to cave and be like, oh, fine. Yeah. I just don't want to take the time to come inside and measure my food because I'm breastfeeding and I'm eating all the time. So it's a matter of exercising your self-discipline muscle, 100%. If you don't want to take the time to come inside and measure your food, ask your husband to do it for you. And if he's like, why? I don't want to do it. Then share with him why it's important to you. But sweetie, I don't feel great in my skin right now. I want to shed this fat to be more healthy, to be a healthier version of myself. Can you please support me? I'm asking you to support me in this. Having very real conversations like that and sharing why it's important to prioritize health, nutrition, and fitness will completely change the dynamic of things. Completely change the dynamic of things. Yeah. So you say you track all your food in the morning, but you don't stick with what you track. So why not just delete it and track what you're eating? I think for you, Miss Emily, and knowing you a bit personally too, I can be, I think, more open and honest. It's self-discipline. It's doing it when you don't want to, doing it when you don't feel like it, but you have to know why, because a lot of times the reason people don't take action is because of fear of loss. So potentially, what's the fear of loss here? The fear of loss of convenience. The fear of loss of sitting here and just not dealing with something. The fear of loss of, dang it, that I can't eat that because it doesn't fit my macros. But you guys, is it simply about hitting macros? No. You have to know why you're doing something. Why are you trying to hit your macros? Because you're becoming a healthier version of yourself. You're maturing emotionally, physically, mentally, in every way, right? You're hitting goals so you can set a better example for your children. So you can be a leader in your family and set a better example for your husband and your loved ones and your friends and all of those people around you. You're tracking your macros so you can understand what your body needs. And so long-term, you can have a higher quality of life. You can keep up with your kids more. Your gut health is healthier. Your mood is better. You're more intimate with your husband because you feel better in your skin. But by saying, ugh, too much work, I'm going to take the easy way out, you're taking those things away. You're taking away being a quality nutrition example for your kids and your family. You're taking away intimate time because you feel like crap in your skin. You're taking away quality time with your friends because you feel like crap in your skin. It's very real. Yeah, it's good. It is very brutally honest. But we need to hear that, because it's very true. And I hope it's always said with love, but it's very true. It's very true. Okay. I'm going to actually answer this. Let me see. I'm just looking because I use StreamYard. Sometimes I can't see who's commenting. And so you may be on my personal page. So let me just check really quick because I love to talk to you ladies by name. Can you share your name, Lovely? Sorry, I can't see you. But you're very important and I want to talk to you. Okay. This is actually a really great question. I feel like food prep is key, especially staying on track with macros. Would you agree? Oh, Crystal, I think in parts of your journey, yes. Pre-planning your macros is freaking key for success. If you don't know how to pre-plan your macros, or you're like, what does that even mean? Comment in the comments or send me a DM pre-planning video, and I'll send you a resource where I have my FitnessPal pulled up and I'm guiding you through step-by-step exactly how to pre-plan. It helps you a ton, but it still allows for flexibility because you can delete what you posted if you don't want to eat that by the time you get to dinner or lunch or whatever, and then add something different. But the point is you've created space for that food, so you're not left over with like 60 grams of protein at night and you're like, well, that didn't work. And then you're frustrated because it's like you're never hitting it. Pre-planning is key. Now, I have a current client who said to me today, pre-planning makes me feel stressed out. It doesn't help me getting complaints. It's making me feel stressed out. And so I asked for clarity. So I haven't fully got clarity yet. So I'll be able to dive into that more in a bit. But a solution to this, I would say, so she still pre-plans her breakfast, she pre-plans her dinner, but then lunch is just whatever. That's okay. The point of pre-planning is to just not end up with a ton of macros at night or, wherever. We don't want to eat massive meals. Ladies, if you're hitting your macros, but you're eating like one massive meal, if your body has no use for all those calories and all those macros, it's going to be like, okay, well, I'm just going to store this as fat for later, even though you might be in a deficit. It's so much more than calories in, calories out. That's been proven in the last 3 to 5 years in research. It's so much more complicated than that. It's not just calories in, calories out. There's all these little habits and behaviors. How many vegetables are you eating per day? How many fruits are you eating per day? Are your meals balanced? Are they spaced out? Or are you eating 100 grams of carb or 40 grams of fat in one meal? If you're doing that, there's a problem. Are you eating 60 grams of protein in one meal? If you're doing that, there's a problem. I posted in the protein research how it's showing, gosh, I'm trying to remember exactly what it said. I think it was something like over 40 grams of protein. There's no benefit per meal. Don't quote me on that. If you want the protein research, just type protein research. I have a whole post about it where we dug into that research, how much you should be eating per day, how much you should be eating based on body weight, body recomp, gaining muscle, losing fat in a deficit, right? All that is in there. So anyway, I'm getting squirrely. Back to pre-planning. Back to, let's see, Crystal, what'd you say, love? You said food prep. So in the beginning, yes, I love to have women batch cook vegetables. It's great. Or like batch slice raw veggies and fruit. So you have it in your fridge, easy grab and go. You're super hungry. You're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to cook anything. You have all these fruits and veggies to pull from. However, those who are way more advanced, like I'm thinking of one specific client of mine, actually two, and myself included. I still track macros. I took a year off. I take time off when I'm like, I'm chilling. But right now I like to be very tight. Honestly, it's nice. I feel best that way. Right. I don't always pre-plan anymore at all, actually, because I like to go out to eat quite a bit. Now, I will sometimes, decently often, pre-plan my protein. And so I'll be like, okay, where's my protein fitting in? Where do I have space to play? So I'll pre-plan maybe 40% of my day. If I want wine that day, I'm pre-planning it so I understand truly how many calories I have left. I always want to space out my protein. So I'll usually eat breakfast and then I'll pre-plan while I'm eating lunch to make sure I'm getting in my protein. I have so many carbs. And so I'm like, gosh, I have so many carbs. How am I going to do this? And so sometimes I'll pre-plan, okay, where am I going to get these carbs? Because I don't want to eat, I don't want to eat more than 60 grams of carb per meal personally. I think I have like 280 grams of carb per day, if I'm remembering off the top of my head. But I personally like to have more meals throughout the day so my body's constantly getting energy. Is it always like that? No, I'm a busy female professional like many of you, right? And so work gets ahead of me and I'm not eating. And so in that sense, food prep and pre-planning is really beneficial. But it's not perfect. So I would say, yes, it's super beneficial, but it doesn't always have to be that way. That's kind of a long answer. It doesn't always have to be that way. Okay. So let's go through this one. Miss Crystal, did you already address reverse dieting? So I did a whole video on this. I know you watched that video. I would go back to watch that video. No, Emily, I do not compete. I think you meant to say competition. I don't compete. I'm all about fit and healthy for a total lifestyle. I like to have that type of body, that like fitness model body. We like to train our clients to have that type of body. It takes time. But no, I will never compete again. Okay. Great. So let's go to Dory. I'm 45 in July and I'm struggling with nutrition. I had tests done, blood work, and everything comes back normal. Pre-menopause kind of bites. I weigh about 13 pounds overweight and I can't get rid of it. 100% of the time. Excuse me. Honestly, probably like 99.2% of the time, it comes down to being on the right macros for you and compliance is everything. And the biggest problem that women have when people come to us, they think I've been tracking these macros forever and nothing's happening. They come into the program. We start doing our weekly check-ins, like measurements, stuff like that. A, they're actually seeing results they didn't know were there because they're only tracking the scale or whatever else, right? B, compliance is a huge issue, or they're tracking in cups and tablespoons, huge issue, really inaccurate in most cases. Their meals are not balanced. They're eating low quality meals, low quality food. They're eating more than they realize. They're taking bites. Like it's all these little habits. It's habits. It's not just about, okay, I've got these macros. This is the answer to all my problems. In a sense, it can be, but it's the habits that those macros are a tool to develop. It's the habits, ladies, habits and process, not goal-oriented, not results-oriented, but process-oriented and habits-oriented, because that is what's going to take you the forever. Okay? Good. I want to address one thing. I had a lady say, I can't get rid of the body fat. Am I a lost cause? And it broke my heart. And it's like, oh my gosh, no, you literally just need to get on the right macros and have a coach to guide you through so you can learn how to be compliant, learn how to build these habits, and you're going to be totally fine. So if you're feeling like that, that is not the case. You freaking got this. You just need the guidance. Y'all, I have had a business coach since day one. Right now, I have a full-on business coach, and plus I have a whole other team of business coaches because I am not a master in business, right? I want to keep impacting women. If I tried to do that by myself, I would not be able to impact as many women as we have been now or in the future, because I'm like, I can do this on my own. It's totally fine. It's like, so I'm just going to research the tools, sift through the misinformation and try to figure out what's going on. But then there's all these, mindset side of things of, can I really do this? Am I doing this right? Or if I'm having a bad day, who's going to pick you up and walk through that and keep you on the path? You can't do it yourself in most cases. You're too close to the picture. You're too close. I've had trainers in the past, right? They helped develop tools in the beginning of my business for me personally. Like having many counselors, many guides is so beneficial to your progress and to your life. That's why people go see therapists, because they can't do it themselves. It's not bad. It's not a shame thing, but you're not an expert therapist, especially in yourself. And that's okay, right? We need help and support. Okay. I'm going to jump to Trina. I'm up at 3:30 a.m. to work out at home. Dang, girl, that's amazing. Props to you. Let's just take a minute to share, like, to be like, oh my gosh, your discipline is exceptional. That's amazing. So I'm up at 3:30 to work out at home by 3:45. Is it okay to work out on an empty stomach? I've been drinking a pre-workout to give me a jump start. What are your thoughts? Great question. My personal opinion, my personal philosophy is it's personal preference. If I was doing that, heck yeah, I'd be eating on an empty stomach. For some women, they're like, I want to eat food. I don't feel as energized if I'm not eating a meal before. It's like, no problem, eat a cooked banana. If I ate a banana 15 minutes before training, I'd probably throw up, honestly. So personal preference, totally fine to work out on an empty stomach, especially that early in the morning. Okay, let's go to Jennifer. I'm 44. I've been doing cardio and lifting, having all my macros, but I never see progress, and I'm gaining instead and having tremendous cravings. So I'll be really honest. Usually when women say, and I'm not saying this is a case for her, usually when women say, I'm compliant in my macros and I'm not seeing any result, they're usually not compliant. In fact, we have clients sometimes, because one of their questions each week is, how many days out of the last 7 days were you compliant in your macros? Just as a self-assessment, so we can understand, how is your body responding to the program, and where do you need support? Where do you need tools? Like, where are you struggling? It's not a bad thing. It's a journey. That's why you're here. We're learning, right? And I can't even tell you the amount of times they've said, oh, I guess it was a 1. I thought I was way more compliant than that. But then having to go back and sift through, they're realizing like, oh, I wasn't actually compliant. It's like, no, actually you weren't. And so I think the biggest thing is getting clarity on what is compliance to you and how are you really needing that every day? Because that is 9 out of 10 times the problem. However, if she's never seen progress, she's gaining weight and having tremendous cravings. Usually, if you're having tremendous cravings, one of the reasons is you're not eating enough, or you need different macros. For example, this doesn't happen often, but let's say a client is craving chips, they're craving chocolate, they're craving butter. I'm like, girlfriend, you need more fat in your diet. Let's change your macros. We're going to drop your carbs. We're going to increase your fat. Her body is sharing, I need more fat. I want more fat. And that's great. That's great. Every woman is different, right? If you're gaining and having tremendous cravings, I would guess that your food quality may be really poor. Your food quality may be poor because we typically crave what we're fueling our body with. So if you're craving low quality food, more than likely it's because you're eating a bunch of low quality food. And so your body wants more and more and more of that. That one, Miss Jennifer, if you're up for sharing more, I'm not sure if you're on here, but if you're up for sharing more info about that, we can definitely talk through that. And I can really find more like exactly what's taking place. Something is taking place there. I can definitely help you pinpoint exactly what it is. I just need a bit more info. What are your macros? What does your lifting and cardio routine look like? And send me like 5 days of macro diary screenshots. Guarantee I could help you with the solution. Okay. Great. Let's do a couple more. Let's see. Okay. Lisa, I'm 32 years old. 1 year ago, my doctor told me I'm in early menopause. Girlfriend, my heart goes out to you. It's wild. It's crazy how different it is for people age-wise. My body has changed rapidly. It's been super tough for me to accept. Yeah. Been on a weight loss journey for 6 months and I've lost 28 pounds. Heck yeah, amazing. I'm holding weight in my tummy and my love handles. It won't budge. I'm toning everywhere else. You just need to get to a low enough body fat percentage. Keep going. It's going to be the last place, especially in the menopause area. It's just going to be the last place. Keep going. For many women before menopause, it's thighs. It takes so long. I have one of the most stunning clients on the planet. Her upper body is jacked in a gorgeous and feminine way, super lean. Her waist is tiny and her legs then decided to develop after that. It's wild how some people's bodies change and adjust. She does legs 3 times a week, legs and glutes 3 times a week. Now her legs are leaning and toning out gorgeously, but it took a lot of time to get there. And it took her entire upper body. And in fact, it took 45 pounds to really see drastic change in her legs. And that's the place now it's pulling from. So everyone holds it in a different place. Few and far between clients hold it in upper body. The majority of women hold it in hips, belly, and legs. Definitely the legs. So keep going. 28 pounds in 6 months, you're definitely on the right track. Okay. Okay. So Deborah, needing a fresh start. I'm 65. I lifted and stayed fit for many years, but the last 2 years were an emotional roller coaster. I slacked off, gained 20 pounds. I'm not happy with myself, but determined to get back on track. Any recommendations? Same recommendation in the beginning. Use the macro calculator, get a baseline macro set, start tracking. Start tracking. Focus on high quality food. For a lot of women, 500 grams of vegetables, 300 grams of fruit per day. It's going to help you get a nice fiber level. It's going to improve your gut health. It's going to give you a lot of vitamins and minerals, which are micronutrients, right? Micros. And then hire a trainer / start with machines if you have no clue where to start. Like a circuit. Some gyms have machine circuits. Okay. All right. Let me keep going. Someone's just asking about food tracking, like what app to use. A real quick thing about that. We use MyFitnessPal Premium because it connects to their training app. So we use TrueCoach for workouts, and MyFitnessPal connects to TrueCoach so we can see their macros so we can provide more support. So that's personally why we use it. We use the premium version, $80 a year. So worth it because it sets everything to macro focus. You can see your macros by gram per meal. If you don't know how many macros total per meal you're eating, that is a problem right there. That's a huge problem because there's a massive variable that you need to control that you have no knowledge of. So if you're not tracking it, you can't do anything about it. Okay, so make sure you know by gram. Percentage tells you no useful information. If you never look at percentage again, awesome. You don't need it. It's all relative to each other. It's useless. So just practice and learn how to go by gram. Here's the other thing. When you're new to an app, it takes time to develop your history, to develop your library, your food library. So in the beginning, especially in the beginning of tracking, it's going to take time. It's going to take longer than normal. But when you stick with it and when you practice the right way, it gets so fast. It's like brushing your teeth. You don't even have to even deal with it or notice it anymore. Hardly. It's great. But the only way out is through. You have to go through the practice, through the discipline, and through changing your life. But it's so worth it. You're taking that time and that energy and that effort and investing it into your future. If you're not, what are you investing into your future? Hardship, slacking off. So more discipline you have to redo, right? Feeling uncomfortable in your skin, possible sickness, losing muscle mass. Like, oh my gosh, it's just not worth it. No level of complacency or a lack of discipline or convenience is worth that. There are times, no one's perfect, but my Lord, if anything, invest that discipline, invest in practicing and exercising that discipline muscle when you don't want to, because eventually it will get really easy. Okay, I'm gonna do 2 more. Okay, Miss Emily, can you send me info on finding a health and fitness coach? Yep, I'll send you a message, girlfriend. We can talk through it. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so let's go through Melissa. I'm 35 and a mom of two. I started macros a couple years ago, and once I was more protein, I think maybe she said once I had more protein, I had better luck. I actually weigh the same as I did a year ago, but a completely different body composition. That's awesome. I had never lifted weights before last year. Last October, I was down 20 pounds at the end of 75 hard and a lean out process. I bulked for a while this winter, and I'm ready to start leaning back out for the summer. Okay, my bad. There was no question. I think that was just like a, yeah, we're here for you, girlfriend. I love it. That's awesome, Liz. I love it. Okay. All right. I'm actually going to go through just a couple more. Jamie, when should you take creatine? I know prior to a workout with carbs or protein, but what if you don't eat before a workout, but you eat after workout? You guys, I actually did a post on creatine. I dug into the research as well. I love to do research reviews so we can weed out the misinformation of freaking social media and actually find peer-reviewed, high-quality research in the industry to say what is real, not what is crap and fluff and just stuff to find followers, but what is real in the industry. I did one on creatine. It talked about the benefits of creatine, why you should take creatine, all that kind of stuff. And check your nutrition label of when to take it. But my understanding is you can take it before, during, or after. So if you don't eat before, you can sip it during or just drink it after. Be careful with creatine. It's really effective. Okay, let me pick one more. Okay. Actually, yeah, here's a little comment on creatine from Alyssa. I started for the first time in March. I stopped 2 to 3 weeks ago because I couldn't stop feeling fluffy. So real. My gosh. That's why some of my clients, I'm like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. For some, it is. Not for everybody. Okay, great. Okay. Let me know any other questions as I'm sorting through these questions. Pop any other questions, and then I'll answer one more. Okay, let's go to this gal. So I think it's Ellery. I apologize. Actually, let me answer this first. Let's see. Can creatine make you look bulky? It depends on the woman. There are a type of woman called a variety responder. It's really rare. It's really, really rare, but it is there. I've had a few of those clients over the years. I think 5 out of almost 500. Okay, so like 1% of, oh yeah, literally, I think I said 1%. That's funny. Anyway, they are a woman that just gain a ton of muscle. It's so easy for them. And it's hard. So when they have even a little bit of fat, they feel really bulky because they have so much mass. Those type of women need a totally different program design. When I say program design, I mean like lifting routine, totally different. Those type of women need like 12 exercises, 2 sets, different rep schemes. It's totally different versus most of us are a volume responder where we can do 5 exercises, 4 sets, 10 reps, for example. We're seeing phenomenal progress. For them, it stacks on way too much mass and they don't like it. Naturally, I wouldn't either. So they just need different style of programming. Creatine won't make you look bulky, but it will add water weight, which will make you look fluffy. So I guess if you have a ton of muscle mass, you may feel like it makes you look bulky. I felt like that when I was taking creatine. I took way more than I realized I was taking because my pre-workout also had creatine in it. It was a bad thing. I gained so much muscle mass. I never lost it. I'll never take it again. It was a horrible thing. It worked well, but I did feel really bulky. I grew up, just to be vulnerable for a second, I grew up with the messaging of I was either fat or I looked like a man. There was no encouraging body talk. It was not good. And so when I started gaining all this muscle, I felt that messaging came up and I freaked out. So I'll never take it again. Okay. So Ellery, she says, I'm 34. I'm a mom of one. And once I get the hang of things, I can work out almost daily, sometimes at home, sometimes the gym if I have childcare. My main struggle is food, which puts my motivation in the backseat. I need a kick in the bum, especially since I'm getting married in a year. Congratulations. Your main struggle is food, which puts your motivation on the backseat. What do you mean by that? If you can give me a little bit more clarity, I can certainly answer that. I'm going to just talk about motivation for a second. It's fleeting. It doesn't matter. It's the discipline muscle that we have to exercise. You're not just going to wake up disciplined. You're not just going to wake up feeling motivated. You might some days, but it's doing the things you know to do when you don't want to. It's doing the boring work when you don't want to. It's eating healthy when you don't want to. And then there's going to come a day where you're like, oh, this is just who I am now. I don't even have to think about it anymore. It ebbs and flows, certainly, but for the most part, it's easy. It's easy. Okay. I hope that inspired you. I know that was really quick, but it's so true. It's so true. So here's the other thing with food. I think it's so important to find foods you really enjoy that are also healthy, because I think sometimes women say, tracking my macros, I need to eat chicken and broccoli and rice and any other food out there that looks amazing. It's not going to fit. So, and then it's this constant battle back and forth, right? It doesn't have to be that way. If you want to eat something high fat, high carb, and good for the soul for the short period, portion sizes. Just focus on being mindful and having small portion sizes, not eating it as fast as you can because it's so yummy, but taking a bite, putting your fork down, chewing it all the way, chewing it, thinking about the food, really enjoying the flavor. Then after you swallow it, pause, take a drink of water. If you're with other people, be present with them for a moment instead of being so focused on the food. Easier said than done, but the practice really, really helps. Really, really helps. I know I said that was the last one, but I want to keep answering these. Ladies, any other questions in the chat? Bring them in. Bring them in. Okay. Let me keep scrolling through. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely answer this question. I love this question. This actually plays along with pretty much just what we were just talking about. Sadie, how do salads fit into macro eating? The dressing has so much fat, and usually the chicken breast is tasteless. I've been eating less veggies with this diet and wondering how to incorporate them in salads, especially since I'm traveling for work a lot. The salads are on most menus. I don't really want to carry my own yogurt salad dressing in my purse at all times. Thanks for the help. I want to make sure I'm getting in veggies without going over on carbs and calories for the day. I love this question. Oh my gosh. Okay. I always actually these ladies said this, always get dressing on the side. Otherwise it's hundreds of calories. You're just wasting it. It's like, what a waste of getting a salad. Get dressing on the side, dip your fork, then stab your food and then eat it. Now, if the chicken breast is tasteless, and if you're not really enjoying the taste of the food, it's because your taste buds have been so overwhelmed by lower quality food. And when I say lower quality, I mean high fat, high sugar, high salt, that those foods do taste bland. But the more you fill your body and your mouth with healthy, high quality food, so fruits, vegetables, lean meat, complex carbs, like just whole foods, your taste buds change. Your taste buds adapt. My understanding, I still haven't looked into the research of this in the last few years. My understanding is every 30 days, your taste buds change. Every 30 days. You guys, my kid last night for dinner, he ate chicken breast, beets, asparagus, sweet potato, bell pepper, and tomato. What kid eats that? But you know why he eats like that? Because that's how we eat at home. It's normal for him. His taste buds are used to it, and he actually really likes it. Beets are one of his favorite foods. My friends come over all the time, like, how can your kid eat that? It's like, because he sees mommy's reaction when she eats that. That's what we eat at home. We don't eat fast food, not because I'm like, oh, fast food, we're better than that, but because I don't want to fill my body with that. And I don't want to fill my son's body with that. It's taken time to get to that point. My 21st birthday, I went to McDonald's because I liked it. Like, you guys, no one's perfect, but it's practicing the process, trusting the journey, enjoying the journey, and really sitting back and saying, okay, I'm going to be process oriented and I'm going to learn these habits. I'm not going to do this but for a time to hit a goal. After you hit the goal, what are you going to do? You're going to go back to the old lifestyle. Ditch it. Leave her behind. Press forward to the new and be okay with the change. It's so much better. It's so much better on that side. It takes time. It takes diligence. It takes effort. You're going to fall over and over and over, but you'll get there. I'll share another personal story. In college, I was already a trainer. In college, it was the beginning of my training career. It was very beginning of 2021 or 2011, 12 years ago. Oh my gosh, I binge ate. I got taught that habit from my family as a young kid. And I remember a boyfriend at the time bought me a bag of Reese's Cups, like a bag of Reese's Cups, okay? Like a family size Halloween bag or something like that. And I just sat there studying, just eating it. Thousands and thousands of calories. So that's where I started, having no clue about nutrition, binge eating on a regular basis. And I've had to work through that. And it took discipline and it took learning what is healthy. What does that even mean, right? We weren't really taught that. I wasn't, at least. And it's learning, how can I still go out with my friends and not be weird and actually enjoy what I'm eating? How can I be fit and feel good in my skin so every time I get dressed, I don't look in the mirror and hate myself? I've had to work through those things too. And it's just following the process. It took me 3 years to stop binge eating, you guys. 3 freaking years of true diligence. There were so many times I fell, but every time I fell, I thought, okay, how do I feel right now? And I journaled it. I feel like crap. I feel shameful. I feel guilt. I'm disgusted with myself. I was very honest. I felt that way. And then I said, why did that happen? What was the trigger? So I started getting awareness. So I could spot that trigger every time it happened, right? But again, it took time. Then what started to happen was when I was about to binge eat, I remembered how I felt after, because I journaled it so many times. And every time it was the same. I felt like crap, mentally, physically, emotionally, for days. And so what I did was I remembered how I felt, and I took myself, I just like closed my eyes and just visualized the whole process. Okay, I'm going to eat all this. I'm going to binge eat all this. It's going to feel amazing. It's going to taste so good. Oh, and now I feel like crap. Oh, I don't like this. This doesn't feel good. It wasn't even about what I looked like. It was just, I just didn't feel good. And it was like, I was able to experience the whole thing through the feeling like crap before it even happened. And that was what allowed me to not do it. And a lot of times what happens is you're just hungry. You're just hungry. So just pause, drink a ton of water, start eating the healthy food, and usually the feeling will subside. The feeling of wanting to overeat, the feeling of wanting to eat crap, it usually will subside. But it takes that constant diligence and practice of discipline. So then it's not a thing anymore. I don't have to try to eat healthy anymore, ever. I love it. That's all I want, because I love to be fit and feel good in my skin. But again, it's taken a lot of time, and you can get there too. And that's what we're here to help you with. Exactly, is how to get there. Okay. This is the last one I'm going to answer. But that's for real this time. Okay, Miss Claire. I'm trying to get back on track with exercise and my macros. In terms of exercising, how do you recognize, pushing through DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness, and needing to recover? Don't get me wrong. I know my body needs recovery days. I don't dispute that. But I don't want DOMS or a few aches from a good exercise session to turn into a reason to ease off the exercise. Oh, this is good. Claire, what I hear you saying, correct me if I'm wrong, what I hear you saying is, how can I make sure I'm not using it as an excuse, but also taking care of my body? Is that right? That's beautiful. I love that. That is discipline and diligence right there. So here's what I would say. If you are struggling, yeah, Claire, love that. If you're struggling to walk, don't go do a leg day. Don't go do a leg day. But what you can do, so let's say you're doing body part splits. If your lower body is so sore, you're so sore, go to the gym and do upper body. If your entire body is so sore, go to the gym and stretch. You're still in the environment. You're still creating the habit. You're still keeping the momentum, but you're still caring for your body. Or go walk on the treadmill for 10 minutes, stretch. Walk on the treadmill another 10 minutes, stretch. But if you're struggling to walk, you're so sore, do not go do a leg day because that can definitely cause injury. If you like can barely straighten your hair because your shoulders are so sore, don't go do a shoulder day, go do a glute day. But if anything, still get into your environment, whether it's home or the gym, and just stretch, do some mobility work, do some yoga, go to YouTube and find a yoga video. So you're still carving that space out for that wellness, but you're taking care of your body. Does that help, Lovely? Great. You guys, what great questions. Thanks for being here. This is awesome. Did you guys find this valuable? Did you get a lot out of this? Like, please let me know, because this is something that we want to do. Love it. This is something that we want to do every week for you guys. I'm glad that helped. Every single week, we want to do this for you guys because there's so many questions, and I really want to help you weed through misinformation and hear and learn a philosophy that cares for you, and that's all about sustainable health and fitness. Tools you can use for the rest of your life, even in your 90s. Good. Oh, I'm so glad. It was so valuable. Thank you for encouragement and wisdom. Love it, you guys. Oh, I'm so glad. Good. So as many of you probably saw, for the event, the live Q&A event, we created a chat, right? And so all the questions I was reading actually came from the chat. I think I'm going to end this chat, and then I'm going to create a new event for next Wednesday, so a week from today, and we'll create a new chat. Okay, so go ahead and put all your questions in there. On the live video, I'll prioritize the people that are here, and then I'll keep scrolling through and answer all these questions. So thank you, ladies, for your commitment to learning and to asking questions as well. It's wonderful. I'm so grateful to be here with you guys and teach and educate, because we all deserve to feel healthy and great in our skin. Everybody. And it's so possible for everybody. You just need the right map, just the right tools. Okay, lovelies. Great. Have a great day. Happy hump day. See you later.